Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Pullshade Games. I'm the Merc, and this is Scary Game Time. Now, sometimes that means that we're going to sit down and play a scary game. That's not what I plan on doing with however many videos this turns into over the month of October. It's going to be talking about scary games, talking about games that have that otherworldly, spooky feel to them rather than your average everyday board game. I'm going to kind of hopefully talk a little bit about what makes each game either spooky or suspenseful or otherworldly, and I'm going to touch on experiences that I've had playing the games and give just a little bit of a rundown of what the game is and how it works. So I guess what I should say here in this kind of opening video, which I'm probably not going to go over any games, I want to talk about what to me makes a game suspenseful. Now, some of the games we have, Level 7 from Privateer Press is kind of like this. Most of the games from Flying Frog Productions, which are A Touch of Evil, Last Night on Earth, and those two are... it's a cooperative game where you play against the game itself. The other game like that we have is Elder Sign and Pandemic. These games, for me, when you play them, if you play them with the right people, they're always very suspenseful because there's a lot of ways to lose. And you feel invested and you don't want to lose because you're spending a lot of time playing a game and you want to be victorious. Things that make the games suspenseful is, especially in like Pandemic, is the card drawing mechanic where, every turn you draw a card and the diseases might spread and you'll be closer to losing. In Elder Sign, it's at the end of every turn, and this is the same way in A Touch of Evil, something bad happens. You flip a card that says, you progress towards nighttime, towards darkness, 1, 2, or 3 spaces, or the eldritch horror that you're fighting is beginning to wake up more and gains more power. So there's a kind of time constraint on the game as you're playing it that makes it more interesting, at least for me. And I know I've had tense games of Pandemic. The Lich Lord and I have had tense games of Elder Sign before. We played that last Halloween. You guys got to see how that works a little bit. Now, for a game to be kind of spooky, kind of scary, I don't think it has to be cooperative. A good example of that is Letters from Whitechapel, which that game is... It's not so much scary because you're playing against the game. You're playing against one another, and there's the sense of suspense in you don't know what Jack the Ripper character is doing. And the team trying to catch Jack the Ripper, it's a lot easier when you're just one person because you can control everything and set up your maneuvers. But if you have more than one person, it becomes that mindset of everyone trying to have to work together to catch this killer. And if it gives you that feeling of not really knowing what's going on. And I tend to enjoy that too. Other games that we have, Zombies is a game that's not cooperative at all. I wouldn't go so far as to say that game has a spooky element to it, but it does have that element of survival that makes it an interesting and fun game to play around this time of year. If you're doing a competitive game, it has to be balanced because balance makes it fun, but it has to have the feel of being slightly unbalanced in favor of the horror or the monster or the bad guy, because the good guys should always feel that they're under the gun. They should always feel under pressure to try to win. So that's my feeling kind of on that idea. And a lot of times that can be accomplished with card mechanics and things of that nature. Another great way to do it is just have more than one person playing on the bad guy side that can work together, and like one person playing on the good guy side. Or you can reverse that and have 3 or 4 people on the good guy side, well, the good guy side of things, and only have like 1 or 2 players playing as the monsters. And in that case, it's a lot easier for the monsters to coordinate than it is for the heroes, so that ups the ante as well. Namely, though, games in this regard, it also has to have elements of horror or suspense. So the game has to have that kind of a setting. It can't be a game like Monopoly. I'm sorry, Monopoly is not a spooky, scary, suspenseful game. It can be a game that ruins friendships, but it's not spooky, suspenseful, or scary normally. Another game that's really that way is Risk. There's not a lot you can do in Risk to make it kind of feel like it fits into the horror genre. And they're both great games, and games like that are great, but they're not the kind of games we're going to focus on here in these section of videos. That's really, I kind of wanted to set the stage for what I'm going to try to do with these videos. I'm going to talk about a couple of RPGs, one of which will be Dystopia Rising, another will be All Flesh Must Be Eaten. I'm going to try to talk about these. And I'm going to talk about one of my favorite systems, even though it's not as fleshed out as it should be, which is D20 Modern, because you can do so much with it. Those are going to be the RPGs that I kind of talk about. So keep your eyes open. Those videos are going to be following here in the next 2 weeks until Halloween hits. Then we are going to try to do something for Halloween, whether it be a special RPG session or board game session with a couple of friends. It's going to be up on the channel, hopefully Halloween night. If not Halloween night, it will be up the day after Halloween, which will be Saturday. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to the board games that we're going to roll out in this series. I know I am. And I will see you next time here at Bullshit Games.